U.S. politics here and like impeachment not on the list. Like, what do you make of that? How do your clients think about something like that?
Well, the geopolitical risks that we talk about relate to essentially business interruption. So what is the possibility that your oil field will be attacked? What is the possibility that your license to do business will be taken away, that your assets will be nationalized? And something that's meaningful for us at Verisk Analytics, being a data analytics company, is that there's a form of what I would call data nationalism, which is sort of growing up. Governments are trying to figure out how to keep faith with their citizenry with respect to issues of privacy. And so different countries are making different decisions right now with respect to, do data have to physically reside in our country and only in our country, privacy standards, et cetera. So these are the kinds of things which we think about when we think about geopolitical issues, sort of what's happening with respect to a particular administration in any given country at any given moment. That's not so much a function of what we do.
But we've been in this sort of risk-on environment now for so long, and these big existential risks, be they Brexit or what's going on in the Middle East or the trade and tariffs issues, they've existed and people have factored them in and continue to do business. So what's new? What is going to catalyze a slowdown in terms of those risks?
Which risks are you talking about? These macro risks?
Well, you have. My point is, you have so many of these big global risks that we talk about.
Right.
But they've existed for a long time.
Right.
And the market has continued business as usual. So my question is, are any of them enough to unseat the market from going on?
I think you have to distinguish between short-term and long-term. If I was to say which of the risk categories is most impactful in the short term, I think it's really cyber risk and the things that can be very disruptive for a business that has chosen to automate its methods, that has chosen to try to build their business model in a digital way. In the long term, I would say I think it's the climate system that is actually the biggest risk. I mean, there are just facts of what is happening in the climate system. There is more CO2 in the atmosphere than there used to be. The ice caps behave differently than they used to. The temperature of the surface of the world's seas is greater than it used to be. The acid level of the seas is greater than it used to be. So you have these separate observations, but together what they can mean is that, for example, the energy potential of a hurricane, or the probability that a hurricane forms, is going up. And so those who are impacted by those kinds of events need to prepare.